There are questions that science cannot answer, enigmas that time refuses to unravel. These are the mysteries that defy logic, the unsolvable puzzles that haunt the brightest minds. Today, you're about to embark on a journey through the unexplainable. Get ready to explore the top 5 greatest unsolved mysteries of humanity. Before we begin this journey through humanity's greatest unsolved mysteries, let me ask you a question. Are you naturally curious? At the Listafox, we dive into intriguing lists, surprising facts, and curiosities that will challenge everything you think you know. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, this is the perfect channel for you. So, subscribe now and don't miss any of our videos. 1. The Bermuda Triangle. There is a place in the world where the ocean seems to have a will of its own. A remote part of the Atlantic that swallows machines and men, never returning any answers. The Bermuda Triangle, located between Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, holds within its waters a mystery that defies the laws of logic and science. For centuries, this stretch of sea has been the stage for inexplicable disappearances, events that leave the world perplexed and craving answers. Ships that once cut through its waves with confidence vanish without a trace. Planes, armed with the most advanced technology of their time, simply disappear into the sky, as if it devoured them. It is said that over 1,000 souls have been lost in this stretch of sea, without a trace, without cries for help, as if the ocean were a living creature, an open mouth ready to devour anything that dares to cross its path. The disappearances pile up like waves on the shore, and with them come the theories, each one attempting to shed light on the unexplainable. Flight 19 is undoubtedly one of the most famous cases. In 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger bombers disappeared without sending out any distress signals. The squadron leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was heard in a radio transmission before contact was lost, saying that their compasses were spinning out of control and that they were completely lost, despite normal weather conditions. A few hours later, all 5 planes vanished, and the rescue aircraft sent to find them also mysteriously disappeared. No wreckage was ever found. Another case that adds layers to this enigma is that of the USS Cyclops. A colossal military ship, with 309 crew members on board, disappeared without sending any distress signals during World War I. Like a ghost on the ocean, the Cyclops simply vanished, taking with it lives, stories, and possible explanations. The ocean returns many things, but not the Cyclops, just as it hasn't returned the hundreds of planes and ships that share its fate in the Triangle. The disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are so frequent and varied that the area has been nicknamed the Devil's Triangle. The idea of an evil vortex, where reality warps and the laws of physics distort, may seem hard to accept, but the growing number of reports makes it almost impossible to ignore. And thus, the theories arise. Some scientists point to natural causes. Sudden storms and treacherous ocean currents could very well be responsible for these disappearances. The Atlantic is known for its unexpected storms, and the currents that pass through the triangle are notoriously unstable, capable of pulling any vessel, no matter how large, off course within minutes. Others suggest that the triangle is a place where the Earth literally breathes. Giant bubbles of methane gas, stored on the ocean floor for millions of years, could suddenly be released, creating areas of low density in the water that would cause any ship to sink rapidly. This theory could indeed explain the disappearance of some ships. But the planes? They still remain without a plausible explanation. Perhaps the most mysterious factor of all is the supposed anomalous magnetism of the region. Reports of navigation instruments going haywire, with compasses spinning uncontrollably, are common among those who have survived crossings through the triangle. Some suggest that the area could be one of the few places on Earth where the magnetic field deviates drastically, confusing navigation systems. This phenomenon could disorient both pilots and ship captains, leading them to stray off course and, in some cases, meet their fate in the depths of the ocean. Even more extraordinary are the theories suggesting that the Bermuda Triangle is a dimensional portal, an area where the laws of time and space do not apply. In this view, the disappearances are not caused by natural phenomena, but by forces beyond human understanding, where ships and planes are sucked into another dimension, beyond the reach of our science and technology. Aliens also enter this equation for many. Reports of sightings of strange lights and unidentified flying objects in the waters and skies of the Bermuda Triangle have fueled theories of alien abductions. Could this area be an extraterrestrial observation base, a contact point between Earth and civilizations beyond our planet? Another fascinating explanation is the hypothesis that the Bermuda Triangle is located over the remnants of Atlantis, the legendary lost civilization. Some theories suggest that the ruins of Atlantis are hidden in the depths of the triangle, and that its ancient technologies, so advanced they would bewilder even our modern scientists, are still active, causing electromagnetic disturbances that interfere with navigation and communication systems, leading to these disappearances. But what about the truth? It drowns in the turbulent waters of this enigma. Every time science tries to dive deeper, the Bermuda Triangle remains as slippery as the waves that sweep its shores. Each theory seems plausible to a certain extent, but is soon swallowed back into the depths of mystery. No matter how far we try to navigate, the triangle always brings us back to the starting point. It's as if the sea itself is conspiring to hide something, to keep a secret that will never be revealed. 2. The Voyich Manuscript. Imagine a book. Not just any book, but a repository of secrets. Its pages are filled with exotic illustrations, figures that make no sense at first glance, diagrams that seem to draw knowledge from another world, and perhaps most intriguing of all, a script that no one has ever been able to decipher. The code that fills its pages remains as impenetrable as an ancient fortress, guarding its secrets with the tenacity of a locked vault. This is the Voyich Manuscript, a 15th century relic that, for over 600 years, has intrigued and frustrated scholars, cryptographers, linguists, and even dreamers who see it as an enigma worthy of humanity's greatest mysteries. What makes this book such an enigmatic mystery is the fact that it's written in a language that doesn't exist, or perhaps in a code so sophisticated that it defies all known deciphering techniques of modern science. To deepen the mystery, its pages are covered with illustrations of plants never seen anywhere on Earth, stars that don't appear on any astronomical map, and diagrams of a system that, in some way, seems both familiar and alien. Everything within these pages feels out of reach, as if it were made to confuse. But what's even stranger? We don't even know where to begin deciphering it. Not even the most advanced machines of our technological era, capable of solving equations that challenge the human mind, have managed to extract a single word from its pages. Many have tried. Since the manuscript was discovered in 1912, it has passed through the hands of scholars from all over the world. The initial hope was that it was just a matter of time before someone found the key to the code, but as the years passed, the mystery only deepened. And with each failed attempt at deciphering it, the fascination surrounding the Voyich Manuscript grew even stronger. There are those who believe it holds the knowledge of a lost civilization, a culture that reached such a high level of intellectual and scientific sophistication that its codes remain beyond our comprehension. Others suggest it is the work of a medieval alchemist, a man or woman who dedicated their life to the pursuit of the formula for eternal life, with its pages containing instructions and formulas for the impossible, a philosopher's stone, a potion of youth, or the key to the elixir of immortality. However, there are also those who claim that the Voyich Manuscript is a hoax, a piece of illusion crafted by an eccentric genius whose sole purpose was to deceive and confuse anyone daring enough to try and decipher it. The illustrations, both fascinating and strange, depict plants that do not exist in any garden or forest known to science. Some have tried to categorize them, searching for parallels with known botanical species, but always without success. The stars drawn in the astronomical diagrams are equally perplexing. They do not match any sky map we can consult, as if the author were describing a cosmos that is not our own. But what grabs the most attention are the diagrams that seem to blend the biological with the mechanical, as if the author was trying to describe something that escapes modern understanding, something that hovers between the organic and the artificial. Could the manuscript be a window into a civilization that existed before us, lost in time, perhaps destroyed by a catastrophe, its stories forgotten, its knowledge buried with it? Or is it a vision of a distant future, a coded message left for us by time travelers or beings from another plane of existence? The truth is that the more we speculate, the deeper the mystery becomes. With each new theory, with every new attempt to decipher it, we encounter more questions and fewer answers. 3. Stonehenge. In the vastness of the Salisbury Plain, where the wind blows incessantly and time seems to stand still, an enigma rises. A set of stones that has defied scientists, archaeologists, and curious minds from around the world for millennia. Stonehenge is not just an ancient monument, it echoes a time we do not fully understand, a structure that seems to want to convey something to us, but its words are trapped among the secrets of history. Standing before these colossal stones, we feel something inexplicable, the weight of ancestral wisdom, the sound of silence that only great constructions carry, as if they are waiting for us to decipher their mysteries. No one knows for sure who built it. Some believe it was erected by an advanced civilization, a culture that had a profound understanding of natural cycles and astronomy, far beyond what we imagined for that time. The stones, enormous and heavy, came from unimaginable distances. It is estimated that some were transported over 240 kilometers, coming from mountains in Wales, at a time when the technology for such a feat simply did not exist, at least, not in the way we know it today. How these stones were moved, and more importantly, how they were raised to form the iconic circle, remains a question that challenges our understanding of ancient engineering and logistics. Stonehenge is not just standing, it is positioned with an almost mystical precision. On the summer solstice, the first rays of sunlight pass through a precise point between the stones, as if someone, thousands of years ago, knew exactly how to capture the sunrise in the perfect frame. This alignment cannot be a coincidence. There is a synchronicity between the sky and the earth, a lost connection between the stars and the stones that we, in the modern world, seem to have forgotten. The stars watch Stonehenge in the same way they did when the first stone was raised. Is it an observatory, a solar calendar, or something even deeper? Some theories suggest that Stonehenge was a temple, a sacred place where rituals were performed, perhaps in honor of ancient gods or natural forces that our ancestors understood in a different way. Others propose it was a site of healing, a kind of sanctuary where people sought treatment for ailments that the medicine of their time could not cure. Indeed, bones and human remains have been found nearby, some showing signs of disease and injury. Yet, this evidence is fragmentary, and the answers seem as distant as the stones were from their original locations. The complexity of Stonehenge extends beyond its stones. It lies in what it represents, a mystery that spans generations. Its construction may have taken hundreds of years, with multiple generations contributing to its completion. This suggests that for centuries, Stonehenge served as a focal point of labor, devotion, and significance for those people. What was so important, so vital, that it compelled them to erect these stones, to invest time, effort, and resources in creating something so monumental? For Atlantis. Somewhere in the depths of the ocean, beneath layers of silence and darkness, there lies a lost city, an empire that, in its grandeur, defied the gods and was punished for its arrogance. Atlantis. A name that resonates like an echo of a civilization so advanced, so brilliant, that it seemed impossible to exist in its time. And perhaps it truly was. Atlantis is not just a myth. It is not merely a tale recounted by Plato in his dialogues. It is the archetype of human perfection destroyed by greed, a reminder that even the most powerful civilizations can be swallowed by the depths of time. Plato describes Atlantis as a vast island, larger than Libya and Asia combined, where gold flowed through the streets and the buildings were of such magnificence that they would make contemporary civilizations appear primitive. In Atlantis, the harmony between man and nature was perfect. Its inhabitants mastered engineering, architecture, and even the laws of physics in ways we cannot even conceive. Its gardens, fountains, and palaces shimmered under the sunlight, while its ships sailed the seas with unparalleled mastery. For many, Atlantis is the unattainable ideal of a utopia, where human perfection touched the heavens and challenged the stars. But like all greatness that rises too high, Atlantis collapsed under the weight of its own glory. Plato tells us that its destruction was swift and relentless, like a divine punishment for its moral decay. In a single terrible day and night, the island was swallowed by the waters. Storms and earthquakes ravaged its surface, while the waves rose to engulf everything that had been built. The gods, it is said, grew furious with the arrogance of its inhabitants, who dared to challenge the heavens. Atlantis, the jewel of the seas, was submerged and disappeared from history, its ruins falling into oblivion, buried under millennia of sediment and dark waters. But did Atlantis really exist? Or is it merely a moral fable, a warning against unchecked ambition? Scholars continue to debate whether Atlantis was a real place or a myth created to teach a lesson. Skeptics dismiss it as mere allegory, while believers scour the ocean floor, hoping to find relics of this grand civilization. Some believe Atlantis was inspired by ancient lost civilizations, such as Crete or Tartessos, which also succumbed to natural disasters. Others suggest that Plato drew from ancient tales of catastrophic floods, common in myths around the world, to weave his narrative. And yet, the fascination with Atlantis has never faded. The idea of a perfect city lost in the depths of the ocean has fueled generations of explorers, dreamers, and archaeologists. In 1882, writer Ignatius Donnelly published the book Atlantis, The Antediluvian World, in which he argued that Atlantis was a real civilization, the cradle of humanity, and that its collapse was the source of flood myths found in various cultures. For Donnelly, Atlantis was the missing link between the mythical past and the scientific present. But if Atlantis truly existed, where is it now? Some theories suggest that its ruins lie beneath the Atlantic, between Europe and the Americas, like a vast and silent submerged grave. Others assert that it is further south, near the Mediterranean, or even close to the Azores Islands. Some explorers believe that the remnants of Atlantis are hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica, buried under layers of eternal ice. Yet, no matter how much we excavate the oceans, the evidence remains elusive, as if Atlantis is a dream impossible to attain, a shadow that dissolves whenever we get too close. If Atlantis truly existed, it would serve as proof that an advanced civilization flourished and was destroyed by its own hands, a warning that, like them, we too can succumb to our own arrogance. And as the waves of the Atlantic continue to crash upon the shore, we find ourselves wondering, what else do the depths of the ocean still hide from us? 5. The Mystery of Rowan Oak. There are mysteries that challenge us with their grandeur, like lost civilizations and empires swallowed by the sea. But there are mysteries that are so silent, so strange in their simplicity, that the weight of disappearance is even more suffocating. One such mystery hides on the shores of the east coast of the United States, on an island that was once meant to be the cradle of a new nation. Rowan Oak, the colony that vanished without a trace, did not sink into the ocean or was destroyed by earthquakes. Instead, its inhabitants simply evaporated into the air, as if they had been erased from reality. This is the story of a mystery that, despite its apparent simplicity, carries a deep burden: the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. The year was 1587. John White, one of the leaders of the expedition, set sail from England with around 115 colonists, including men, women, and children, with a dream of establishing a permanent settlement in the New World. They landed on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina, ready to start a new life. They planted, built, and dreamed of a bright future. But life in the New World was not easy. Relations with the native tribes were tense, food shortages were increasing, and the colony was at the mercy of the whims of the weather. Faced with increasing difficulties, White decided to return to England in search of supplies and reinforcements. He left behind his daughter, his newborn granddaughter Virginia Dare, the first English baby born in America, and all the other colonists, hoping to return soon. However, fate had other plans. England was embroiled in a war with Spain, and White was forced to delay his return for nearly 3 years. When he finally managed to return to Roanoke in 1590, he found a desolate scene. Upon arriving on the island, there were no signs of struggle, no bodies, and no burned ruins. Everything was mysteriously intact, except for one thing: the colonists had completely vanished. No trace of life remained. The fort had been dismantled, and carved into a tree was a single word, cold and solitary: Croton. It was the only clue as to what might have happened. But what did it mean? Where had they gone? Were they all dead, or, somehow, had they survived and relocated? The word Croton referred to a Native American tribe living on the nearby island, leading White to speculate that the colonists might have fled there, integrating into that community. However, a violent storm prevented his expedition from investigating Croton Island, and White was forced to return to England, never discovering what happened to his family and the other colonists. That single word, carved into the tree as a mark of an unknown fate, became one of the greatest mysteries in American history. But was the colony truly swallowed by an invisible force, or is the disappearance of the colonists a reflection of something deeper, something that hides between the lines of history? There are many theories, but few answers. Some believe that the Roanoke colonists fell victim to a hostile tribe, exterminated and secretly buried. Others suggest that they peacefully integrated with the native tribes, merging with them and disappearing into the mists of time. In fact, local legends speak of natives with European features, blue eyes, and fair skin, fueling the idea that the colonists may have survived but lost their English identity. There are also those who believe in more supernatural explanations. Could it be possible that the Roanoke colony was located on a cursed site? Some point to reports of inexplicable phenomena in the area. Strange lights in the sky, mysterious disappearances of people over the centuries. Could it be that Roanoke was at the mercy of a force beyond human comprehension? Another point to consider is the nature of the New World itself. The vast, untamed wilderness of North America could very well have swallowed the colonists. Hunger, disease, and the hostile environment might have forced them to abandon the island in search of refuge. But without adequate provisions, they would have been doomed to perish in the dense woods or by the riversides. If this were the cause, where are the bodies, the signs of struggle, the belongings left behind? The silence of Roanoke seems as deafening as the ocean surrounding the island. However, perhaps the mystery lies in the very word, Croton. Some say that this word carries a power greater than we can imagine. Throughout history, it has appeared in other contexts linked to mysterious disappearances. When writer Edgar Allan Poe was in his final moments, delirious, he supposedly whispered the word Croton. The legendary pirate Blackbeard is said to have carved this same word into one of the pillars of his fortress before disappearing into the sea. Could this word be connected to a hidden force that triggers disappearances? Or is it merely an inexplicable coincidence that further fuels the mystery? Thus, the disappearance of Roanoke remains shrouded in shadows, as unfathomable as the sea that surrounds the island. And, like so many mysteries of history, it forces us to gaze into the unknown and accept that sometimes the truth may lie beyond our reach. And so we come to the end of this journey through humanity's greatest mysteries, at least for now. Thank you for staying with us until the last enigma. But don't worry, this is just the beginning. A part 2 is on the way, where we'll uncover even more puzzling secrets that defy explanation. If you found yourself intrigued, with more questions than answers, or if the mystery stirred your imagination, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep exploring the unknown with us. Leave a like, comment on which of these mysteries fascinates you the most, and share with those who, like you, love a good dose of mystery. Until our next adventure, where we will dive into new secrets that continue to challenge time and logic.